I guess this is my Robinhood series. What's going on? My name is Cole Connor. I'm an artist and entrepreneur, and today I just want to talk to you guys about how I lost my entire life savings in the stock market with options. What's going on? My name is Cole Connor. I'm an artist and entrepreneur, and I was put here to do two things: create and inspire. Thanks for being here. Let's get into it. So I wish it was a joke. I really wish it was a joke. I'm not gonna hold this the whole time, but I am for a second. I lost over $5,000 in the stock market last year, and it kills me that I did this. All right, briefly, I had just gotten to a point in my life where I was starting to make more money again. I had some ups and downs over the past few years, and I was living in Beaufort, South Carolina. My real estate photography business was doing well. I was like, I got some money now. I got $5,000. I put it in the stock market, and I was doing all right. I was actually like making money. I think I'd actually put in $4,000, but I got it to $5,000. And started learning more about the stock market, and I was excited. I was like, man, this is crazy. Why doesn't everyone do this? Then I joined this group called Cheat Code Algo, and this is no diss to them at all. It has nothing to do with them. It has to do with me. But they did a lot of options trading. I wasn't really sure what options were, but the best way to explain it, and I'm not a pro by any means, in options, you're kind of selling a bet. You can do a call or a put, and a call is you think this stock is going to go up to a certain strike price, or a put, you think it's going to go down to a certain strike price. It's really kind of hard to explain, but I'm just going to say it. It's worth 100 contracts. So for example, you buy a option that's worth $1, that actually costs $100. So what I did was I ended up selling out of pretty much all of my positions, and I bought this stock called AMD, which if you're in the stock market and are familiar with the stock market, you know that AMD last year went on this crazy winning streak. And I was in part of the Cheat Code Algo stock group, where they talk about options. They teach you options and how to, just use the stock market, etc., and do well with it. They also have this thing that tells you when to buy and sell. But mostly I was just like listening to people and what they were doing and how they're making all this money because they're choosing the right options. And so I chose the AMD option. And I can't remember the strike price, but I know that it was a call because it's supposed to go up. What's crazy about options is it's all affected. Like whatever strike price you pick a call or you pick a put, you pick a date. Like it all goes into how much it costs and how much it can rise quickly, etc. So like you made probably the most money on a call option when, let's just say the stock is $50 and in 1 month you think it's going to go to $100. You're going to make a ton of money on those option contracts because the likelihood of it going to 100 by the date that you say it will is just so low, really. So there has to be some sort of catalyst, is what they call it, that's going to push it to $100. But here's the thing with options. This is why I don't recommend it unless you're experienced, and I don't recommend it unless it's only like maybe like 10% or 5% of your portfolio. It has an expiration date to where the option becomes worthless. That's part of what you're betting on a little bit. So if you think the stock is going to go up by like March 1st or something, and your stock option expires February 28th, maybe on March 1st, it would have made it, but it never made it because it expired on February 28th and it becomes worthless. It can do two different things. I know this is probably kind of all over the place for people who don't know the stock market, but an option, it doesn't have to expire worthless. What it can also do is you can exercise your option, which means because pretty much what you're saying is you're buying a contract that says you will, God, that's so much more confusing than I thought it would be. But so let's say, okay, there's a stock that's $10. You have an option contract that says you think it's going to go to $7 by March 1st. Either on March 1st, the option becomes worthless, or if you have enough money to buy 100 shares of that stock at $7, which would mean you have to have $700 to buy that much stock at $7, even if the stock price is actually still $5. Your bet is that it's going to go to 7, and if it doesn't, you exercise it, and so you pretty much are paying more than the stock is worth. Or if you don't have the $700, that's when it becomes worthless. So I was messing around with options when I didn't have the money to cover it, so the option becomes worthless. Long story short, oh my God, it's terrible. All this money I had, $5,000, I'd built it up from around $4,000, feeling really good and confident. And I pretty much bet everything on AMD, and it was doing really well. At one point, about 2 or 3 weeks before it expired, I was up like 20-30%, which on, around $4,000 is really good. And I was feeling great about it. But you know what I didn't do? And I talked about this in the last video. I didn't lock in my profits. I was just like, there's no way it's going to go like down. But what happens with options is that as you get closer to the expiration date, the price fluctuates like crazy. And if you're not close to your strike price, then that option is going to go from it might have been worth like $10 per contract, which is, remember, times 100. So if it's $10 a contract, what is that? $1,000. So it might have been worth $1,000 to now it's not close to your strike price and it's getting close to the expiration. Then that price, it might go down to, it's only worth $200 because you're so far from your strike price. I hope this kind of makes sense because it's really important to understand how I lost the life savings. So I thought that AMD was going to go to like $100. And what happened was I didn't take in consideration earnings. So earnings is a thing that happens in the stock market where the company announces what its earnings were. And the stock market can go up or down based on how people react to that earnings. What I didn't take into consideration was that AMD did have a lot of hype around it. The earnings were probably going to be really good. And I bought an expiration date a week before earnings. It expired a week before earnings. So the stock market was going up. I had made 20 to 30% on it. I was like, nah, it's going to keep going up because it's got this earnings coming up. It's amazing. But I didn't check my dates. So it started going up. But what does the stock market always do? It fluctuates. So it went up. And let's just say my expiration date was July 16th. Earnings was July 20th. And the next expiration date I could have picked was July 22nd, but I didn't. And so it went up. And then right around my expiration date, it dropped. So it went from like 80 to like 70. Numbers are general, but it started dropping. So my options went from worth $4,000-ish to I watched it dwindle. 3,000, 2,000. 1,000. And I was like, what? This can't be happening. I was like, it's going to keep going up. It's going to keep going up. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. The day after my option expired, it was around $80. I thought it was going to be $100. Guess what happened? Over the next 7 days, I was 7 days off that options contract. I would have ended up doubling my money. AMD went over 100 by the earnings date, and I was devastated. Not only was it extremely stressful and annoying, but it all went wrong from just picking like 7 days difference. And that's how I lost my life savings in the stock market. This isn't an educational video. I'm not here to teach you all about options and teach you what all the stuff means. I'll throw some stuff up to kind of help you and some maybe resources that I learned about options on, but I'm really making this video to just be really careful. If you're gonna use options, keep it under a 10% or 10% of your entire portfolio, maybe 5% depending on how big your portfolio is. They can be very dangerous. You can lose money very quickly, especially if you don't have the money to cover exercising the option. For example, if I had picked the strike price of 100 and I would have exercised that option at 100 and I had the money, it would be okay because AMD kept going up, and I can't remember what it peaked at, but it went pretty high. I could have still ended up making 20% or so, but I didn't have the money to exercise the option, so it became worthless, so I lost that money. Anyways, folks, hope this helps. Hope you learn it, soak it in. Don't make the same mistake I did. My name is Cole, aka Robinhood. Thanks for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe, all that jazz. I'm out. Peace.
Every day I wake up with a vision. Cooking in the kitchen, ain't no fucking in the mission. Like, yo, shaking up your city with my bitchin'. Sold in the building, and the motherfucker fizzing. Like, whoa, Cole won't stop till they get that gold. Cole won't stop till you sing my song all the way home.